Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you an advanced lesson for all of our advanced learners out there.
That's right. And in this lesson, we're visiting a history class.
Yes, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic that's known around the world, which is International Workers' Day.
That's right. And we're going to learn a little bit about the history of the workers' movement in the United States.
Right, but we're also going to be taking a look at some great words and, of course, a little bit more advanced or complicated structures.
That's right. So I guess without further ado, we can get started with the dialogue.
Everyone settle down. Let's get started. As you know, an important aspect of becoming a good citizen is understanding the genesis of our legal system. It's not enough to simply memorize our laws. It's necessary that we comprehend why and how they were formed. This brings me to our topic for today. Does anyone know what we celebrate on May 1st?
Cinco de Mayo.
No, that's May 5th in Spanish, James. No wonder you're failing my Spanish class. No, May 1st is International Workers' Day.
Do we get a day off from school then?
No, it is not considered to be a national holiday here in the U.S., but in other countries it is.
Oh, man.
In the 19th century, working conditions were appalling, with workers being forced to work 10, 12, and 14 hours a day. Support for the 8-hour workday movement was growing rapidly, despite the indifference and hostility of many union leaders. And by April 1886, 250,000 workers were involved in the May Day movement. Previous legislative attempts to improve working conditions had failed, so labor organizers took drastic measures. They passed a resolution stating that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work. And on May 1st, 1886, the resolution took effect.
Cool. Is that why we only work 8 hours now?
Yes, but the happy ending came at a high price. On May 3rd, 1886, police fired into a crowd of strikers at the McCormick Reaper Works factory, killing 4 and wounding many. A mass meeting was called for the next day to protest the brutality.
And then what happened?
Well, as we say, the rest is history.
And we learned something new, something interesting, right?
Yeah, International Workers' Day. It's not celebrated in the U.S., but in many other countries it is.
Right. On May 1st, a lot of people have a day off, so that's always good.
Yes.
All right, so why don't we take a look at some of the words that we saw in this dialogue, which were maybe a little bit different or difficult in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we're just going to look at 5 words here. And the first one, we talked about the genesis of the movement.
Right, Genesis.
Genesis.
Okay, so many of you may know that Genesis is a book in the Bible, right?
That's right. And that's where this word comes from. It's the first book in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. So it's the beginning.
Or the origin.
Origin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a genesis. So the genesis of our legal system, you would say.
Right. Or the genesis of this problem.
Mm-hmm. So it's the origin.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a formal word, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess maybe you can say the origin or the beginning.
Yeah, but maybe in an academic setting, you can talk about the genesis.
Yes. Very good. All right. What do we have next?
Well, one of the reasons why the workers' movement got started was because of the appalling working conditions.
Mm-hmm. Appalling.
Appalling.
If something is appalling,
it's shockingly bad.
Very, very bad.
Yeah.
So now if something is appalling, like the working conditions were appalling.
That's right.
You would feel appalled.
Exactly. I'm appalled at your behavior.
Okay. So it's almost like you are disgusted.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Very, very strong word.
Yeah. Very strong.
Okay. Okay. So the working conditions were appalling and people were setting up this movement, right? But what happened?
They met some hostility.
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 Hostility from the police, right?
That's right.
So what is hostility?
Hostility is the state of receiving an unfriendly reaction.
Okay.
They acted in a very unfriendly way, and it also suggests, a hint of violence even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody is hostile, they can maybe be aggressive and maybe to a point violent.
That's right.
Okay. So a hostile person.
Yeah, or a hostile environment, a dangerous environment.
Okay, hostility, hostile. Very good.
Yeah. Now, because of these appalling working conditions, the labor movement decided to take drastic measures.
Drastic measures.
Yeah, drastic measures. This is a really wonderful phrase, and I think it would help us to listen to a few examples of this phrase in use.
Example 1. The president was faced with some difficult decisions and was forced to take drastic measures to solve the crisis. Example 2.
Drastic measures to control the protesters outside the government palace.
So we understand drastic measures as extreme actions or decisions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a saying that says desperate times call for drastic measures.
No, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Oh, dang. Well, okay, but it goes around there somewhere, right?
Something
so
like
if,
that.
If you really have an emergency, you need to do something drastic.
You have to take drastic measures, or you can even say take drastic action.
Okay, very good. And what about our last word?
After the protests ended in violence, people started to get angry because of the brutality the police showed.
Okay, brutality.
Brutality.
So again, maybe brutality and hostility are maybe similar, right?
A little bit similar. So brutality is the state of being harsh or very forceful.
Okay, so brutality. Now, we also use the word brutal.
Right. So that means harsh or very forceful.
Now, sometimes we can use that word, but not in a harsh or forceful way, right?
Yeah, and it's quite, I might say something like, oh my God, that test was brutal.
Uh-huh. It was brutal or...
So it was really hard or really difficult.
Right. So that's what you're saying with this word, that it's very hard or it was very intense.
Yeah, maybe one more example.
Okay, so for example, I can say, oh, I went for a run today and it was brutal. I'm so tired.
So it was really difficult.
Yeah. Brutal.
And Marco, is this something that's used by everyone?
That phrase, brutal, using in that context would be for younger people, maybe. Not really, you wouldn't really hear older people using it like
so
that.
It's a little bit slangy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Great. So those are 5 interesting vocabulary words. As Marco mentioned, we want to look at some more difficult structures now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so we have some phrases that we saw in this dialogue. And, well, let's start with the first one.
Well, the teacher opens his discussion by talking about how an understanding of the legal system is an important aspect of being a good citizen.
Okay, an important aspect.
An important aspect.
So, well, maybe we know the word important, right? So what's
Obviously.
an aspect?
A part of something, an important part of something.
Okay, so the teacher started with an important aspect of and then specified the idea or what part it belongs to.
Right, so it usually follows this form. Noun is an important aspect of noun.
Okay.
So, for example, quality control is an important aspect of keeping customers happy.
Okay, perfect. A part of. Very good. So aspect sounds a little bit more formal or just a lot more intelligent, right?
Yeah, professional. And actually, this is a wonderful way of setting up your idea.
So the teacher said that it's an important aspect of understanding the legal system was understanding its origins or its genesis.
Yep.
And then she moved on and said that it's not enough to simply memorize laws.
That's right. It's not enough to simply do something.
Okay. So the beginning of this sentence, it is not enough to simply something.
Mm-hmm.
By starting a sentence like this, you are indicating that more is required, right?
So here, it's not enough to simply memorize the laws. We're saying that most people just memorize the laws, but they need to go further.
And understand them.
Exactly.
Another example would be, it's not enough to simply pass your exams. You must get good grades as well.
Right. Or maybe in a business context. It's not enough to simply satisfy your customers. You must impress them.
Okay. Very good. So that's a very good way of starting out this idea of more is required.
That's right. More is required.
All right.
All right. Well, I want to move on to one final point here. I found this sentence to be really, really interesting. They passed a resolution stating that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work.
Okay. So why is this interesting?
Well, I found that, there's 2 verbs going on here. They passed a resolution that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work. So we've got 2 verb times going on here at the same time. And I'm wondering about this one would.
Okay, so what's happening here? Obviously, this happened in the past. It's like about 100 years ago, right?
Right. So the resolution was passed. 100 years ago.
Right? So this is going on in the past.
Right.
But there was a future action that was going to happen in consequence of this.
Right. So the resolution stated that 8 hours would constitute. So it's like the primary action was the passing of the resolution. And the result is this sort of this event that happens in the past, but is a future event to the first primary event. Does that make any sense at all?
So this is called the future in the past, right?
That's right.
Okay, so it's a grammar structure. Many of you maybe know the simple present or the future tenses, but this is a little strange one. And as we said, so maybe it's a little bit difficult to understand the grammar in general. So why don't we take a look at some more examples of how we would use this future in the past?
Example 1. The president said that he would cut taxes by 5%. Example 2.
I made a promise that I would not smoke anymore.
Example 3. Carl told me he would buy a new car.
Okay, so now I think it's clear this whole idea of the future in the past, and we'll also be answering any questions on the site if you have any problems, right?
That's right.
Okay, so why don't we listen to the dialogue one more time, and then we'll come back and talk about this holiday, which is the International Workers' Day.
All right, everyone, settle down. Let's get started. It's not enough to simply memorize our laws. It's necessary that we comprehend why and how they were formed. This brings me to our topic for today. Does anyone know what we celebrate on May 1st?
Cinco de Mayo.
No, that's May 5th in Spanish, James. No wonder you're failing my Spanish class. No, May 1st is International Workers' Day.
Do we get a day off from school then?
No, it is not considered to be a national holiday here in the U.S., but in other countries it is.
Oh, man.
In the 19th century, working conditions were appalling, with workers being forced to work 10, 12, and 14 hours a day. Support for the 8-hour workday movement was growing rapidly, despite the indifference and hostility of many union leaders. And by April 1886, 250,000 workers were involved in the May Day movement. Previous legislative attempts to improve working conditions had failed, so labor organizers took drastic measures. They passed a resolution stating that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work. And on May 1st, 1886, the resolution took effect.
Cool. Is that why we only work 8 hours now?
Yes, but the happy ending came at a high price. On May 3rd, 1886, police fired into a crowd of strikers at the McCormick Reaper Works factory, killing 4 and wounding many. A mass meeting was called for the next day to protest the brutality.
And then what happened?
Well, as we say, the rest is history.
All right, so Erica, in Canada, do you celebrate this?
We do, but not on May 1st.
Oh, really? When is it?
The first weekend in September.
Oh, really? And why?
I am not 100% sure. I think it's because we already have a long weekend in May because because on the 24th of May is the Queen Victoria's birthday, so we have to celebrate that.
Oh, really?
We can't have 2 vacations in the same month.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not productive, right?
Exactly.
Well,
what about in Ecuador?
Yeah, we do. On May 1st, it's a holiday, and we actually have 2 holidays in May as well, because on the 24th, we actually celebrate the Battle of Pichincha, which is one of the decisive battles for the independence of Ecuador. So we don't mind having 2 holidays in the same month.
Well, it sounds like Ecuador has a better holiday schedule than Canada. So
no, it is. So yeah, on May 1st, people take vacations, and our companies usually on May 1st will do something special for their employees.
Oh, that's kind of a nice gesture, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like it's Workers' Day, so they'll set up maybe a barbecue or a trip or something like that. So that's what usually happens on May 1st.
Great. Well, what about in your countries, listeners? Do you celebrate May Day?
May Day.
Yeah.
May 1st, right? And if you do, well, let us know. Come to our website, englishpod.com.
Hello, English learners, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
I'm Amira.
All right, Amira is here today, and she is going to tell us about the wonderful lesson she has prepared this time.
Well, thank you, Marco. Well, today we have a very interesting lesson prepared for you. It's about someone cutting in line.
Cutting in line. Okay.
Yeah, it happens all the time and we all get very upset about it, but it happens.
Right, right. Well, I imagine that everyone is wondering what cutting in line is. Why don't we just listen to the dialogue one time, and then when we come back, Amira and I will gladly explain all the vocabulary in this dialogue.
Let's listen.
I can't believe it took us 2 hours to get here. The traffic in New York is unbelievable.
Yeah, but just relax, honey. We're here and we're going on vacation. In a few hours, we'll be in Hawaii and you'll be on the golf course.
Oh no, look at that line. It must be a mile long. There's no way I'm waiting for another 2 hours.
Honey, don't.
Hey, man, the end of the line is over there.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I was here first and you can't cut in line like this.
Says who?
I do.
So sue me.
All right, that's it.
Whoa, I think there's punching.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this guy he's just a crazy, impatient man, huh?
Yes, but we don't want to talk about this now. But for now, we will treat some of the vocabulary and very useful phrases in the dialogue.
Great.
So, Marco, do you want to start?
Yes, let's take a look at our first word would be unbelievable.
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 Exactly. And just how you say it, it's something incredible, something amazing.
Yeah, but I would like to point out that unbelievable was used here to describe the man's frustration. He's not happy about the traffic in New York.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay, in the next part, the woman, she's trying to calm and relax her husband. And she says that they'll be in Hawaii in a few hours. And you'll be on the golf course.
Right. So we'll be in Hawaii and you'll be on the golf course.
Yes, we'll be in Hawaii and you'll be on the golf course.
So this is a great way of talking about your physical location in the future.
Right. So for example, Amira, tomorrow, where will you be?
Don't worry, Marco. I'll be in the office tomorrow.
Perfect, right? That's where I need you to be.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, I have another interesting phrase here for you. Must be a mile long.
A mile long.
A mile long.
A mile long.
Now, that's basically not a mile. It's not a kilometer long, but it's another way of saying that this line is really, really long.
Right. It's just an exaggeration. Now let's take a look at there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Perfect. Let's listen to some other examples on how we use there's no way in a different situation, and then we can come back and talk about it a little bit more.
There's no way I can have those reports finished today.
The stadium is so crowded that there's no way we'll find a seat.
Do you think Michael's going to buy that house?
There's no way he has enough money to buy it.
All right, everyone. So there's no way is another way of saying it is impossible.
Exactly. There's no way you should miss this podcast, right?
Yes. Well, I have another phrase for you as well. Cut in line.
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 So again, we have some really good examples on how you could use this phrase in different situations. Let's listen to the examples and then we can come back and talk about it some more.
Excuse me, I'm really late. Can I cut in line, please?
I hate it when people cut in line at the bank. It's so rude.
I think it's okay when a pregnant woman cuts in line.
All right, everyone. Cut in line.
Right. So from the examples, we can understand that it means when you are standing in line somewhere and somebody gets in front of you.
Right. I have another phrase for you here. Sue me.
Sue me.
Sue me.
Sue me.
Okay. Now, sue me is not a nice phrase. If you hear that, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's kind of rude, I guess, to say sue me.
Right. Well, it actually means like taking someone to court and asking for money because someone has harmed you in a way. I think that we should listen to the dialogue one more time and try to figure out why he used that phrase and if he's really going to take him to court.
I can't believe it took us 2 hours to get here. The traffic in New York is unbelievable.
Yeah, but just relax, honey. We're here and we're going on vacation. In a few hours, we'll be in Hawaii and you'll be on the golf course.
Oh no, look at that line. It must be a mile long. There's no way I'm waiting for another 2 hours.
Honey, don't.
Hey, man, the end of the line is over there.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I was here first and you can't cut in line like this.
Says who?
I do.
So sue me.
All right, that's it.
All right, we're back. Now, this guy, when he says sue me, he's just being rude. I mean, he's just being kind of
Impolite.
and telling him, I don't care.
Right. Exactly.
Like you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay, today in the studio, we have a guest. Her name is Sarah, and she's from England.
Hi there.
Hello.
All right. So we're going to be asking her a couple of questions, and she'll be a frequent guest on our show, so you can expect to hear from her a lot.
Well, she didn't know that.
It's a surprise.
She knows now.
Well, Sarah, our topic today is about jumping the queue.
Okay, Amira, wait. What is this jump the queue?
It's the same as cut in line, but in British English.
Ah, okay.
Yes, queuing. It's very important in England. We're very proud of our queues. It's true.
So what would be the reaction of people if they cut in line?
I think we do take it very seriously. I'm laughing now, but it's quite serious. So you don't jump the queue. If people, jump in front of you, it's, you get a little tuts and sort of, shouldn't be doing that. And we make it very obvious. And
so you say it out loud.
We would, perhaps say something. And we have systems, in London on the metro. On the underground, you have to stand on the escalators on the right and queue, and you can't jump in front. You have to walk on the left and queue on the right. And it's all very serious. There's rules and regulations.
Is there like a queue handbook that you have to read in high school and kind of take a test on?
Perhaps there should be, yeah.
Wow.
What about New York, Marco?
Well, no, definitely, I guess this dialogue is similar to a reality of New York. If somebody gets in front of you or cuts the line, somebody's going to say something and probably end up in a fight if the guy is rude. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, why don't you tell us, is there a line or a queue for almost everything in England?
It seems like we do just like to form a queue. Yeah. So,
Can you think of like some other examples of where you would normally you wouldn't queue, but you do?
Oh, gosh. Things like in the supermarket when you're trying to find some vegetables or something. I'd never sort of reach round or anything. I'd sort of wait until that person had finished picking up their stuff and then go in. So just try and...
So if like 5 people want to buy oranges at the supermarket, then you have a little mini queue of 5 people
maybe a little bit. Just,
waiting.
There's no sort of just shoving through to the front. You just don't do that.
So you don't stick your hand out and grab like a tomato.
Well, if you do, again, you would make sure that person knows, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just in a hurry or whatever. But yeah, it's just letting someone go before you. It's a courtesy, I think.
Okay.
It's quite important to us.
All right.
Right.
Great
well,
stuff.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll have you back very soon. So, all right, we're out of time, but we'll be back tomorrow with another lesson. And be sure to visit our website. Don't forget that EnglishPod.com has many, many resources and also a community of users and teachers that can help you answer questions and interact with you.
Yes, and you should definitely leave your suggestions. But for now, I wish you all well and bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name's Erica.
And I'm Marco.
So, Marco, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be back, ready to deliver another great podcast for all our listeners.
That's right. And we've got an intermediate lesson today about spending money.
Yeah, specifically spending money in a company.
That's right. We're going to be listening to a business meeting as a company describes how they're spending money.
Right. And they're actually looking at their profit and loss statement. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, Marco, can you tell us a little bit about a profit and loss statement?
Yeah, sure. Well, all companies come out with a profit and loss statement every year or every 3 months. And it's basically a document that shows all the money that the company is spending and all the money that the company is earning.
So it's a document that outlines how much money the company makes and how much it spends.
Right. So in the end, basically, it'll tell you we're making money or we're losing money.
Okay. So we're going to be listening to some people discuss a profit and loss statement in just a moment. But before we do that, it's time for vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, great. So today on our vocabulary preview, we have 2 words for you. So let's take a look at the first one.
Expenses.
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 So expenses are things that you have to spend money on regularly.
Right. So for example, in a company, regular company expenses are salaries or office supplies or the phone bills, internet bills.
Okay. And maybe in a household or a family, your expenses might be your food, perhaps your transportation or your rent or your heating bill. So these are all things you spend money on regularly. They're expenses.
Expenses. Great. Let's take a look at our second word. Through the roof.
Through the roof.
Through the roof.
Through the roof.
So when something is through the roof, it's
really, 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 really high.
Really high. So, for example, we can talk about gas prices are through the roof lately.
Yeah, that's totally true. Gas prices have gone really high in the past couple of months.
So when we talk about through the roof, it means that the number is really high.
That's right. We typically use this word with numbers. It also gives you the idea that the number has risen really quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so through the roof.
Through the roof.
All right, Marco, do you think it's time for the dialogue?
Yep, let's listen to the dialogue. As always, the first dialogue is going to be a little bit fast, so it might be a little bit difficult, but
don't worry if you don't understand everything, because we will explain all of the key language in a minute.
Okay, so now the last point on our agenda. Jill, let's go over the profit and loss statement.
Great. Well, the main issue here, as you can see, is that our expenses are through the roof.
Well, let's see. These numbers are off the charts. What's going on here?
Well, sir, the company expenditures on entertainment and travel are out of control. Look at these bills, for example. Just this month, we've paid over $20,000 for hotel charges.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll look into it.
The list goes on and on. Here, this is a bill for $5,000 for spa treatments.
Thank you. That will be all. I'll take care of it.
Look at this one, sir. $8,000 were expensed in one night at a place called Wild Things.
Okay, I get it. Thank you for your very thorough analysis.
Okay, so this accountant, she's pretty thorough, hey?
She's really persistent about her job, and the manager apparently is a little bit embarrassed.
I wonder why that could be.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little while. Why don't we take a look at our language takeaway for today?
Language takeaway.
In today's language takeaway, we're going to look at 3 words, and the first word is expenditures.
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 So expenditures sounds pretty close to expenses, right?
It's pretty similar, but it has a little bit of a difference. So why don't we listen to some examples and see if we can understand?
Example 1.
If elected president, I will increase expenditures on health and education by 12%.
Example 2.
We really need to control our travel expenditures. From now on, all managers will fly economy class.
Example 3.
Because of the rise in oil prices, expenditures on food are higher than they have ever been.
So expenditures is the total amount of money that you're spending on something.
Right. That's the total amount of money versus expenses is the things that you spend money on.
Okay, that's really clear.
Mm-hmm.
Our next word is out of control.
Out of control.
Out of control.
So when something is out of control, it's
crazy.
Crazy. You can't control it.
Exactly. You can't stop it.
You can't stop it.
Out of control.
Okay, great. Now let's take a look at our last word for today. Go over.
Go over.
Go over.
Go over.
So go over is a pretty simple word. Why don't we listen to some examples so we can understand go over?
Example 1.
I need to go over this report one last time to make sure there are no mistakes.
Example 2.
Can you help me go over my presentation? I want to make sure it's perfect.
Example 3.
Let's go over these numbers one more time and make sure there are no mistakes.
Yeah, this is a really common word, and it basically means look at carefully.
Yeah, or review.
In English, we often find simple little words. They fit together really well. And you think, oh, they're so easy, like the word go, over, so easy.
Yeah.
But it's the way that they interact with each other that makes them...
Or it makes you sound much better.
Exactly. So go over in this case, we might say, let's go over the lesson.
Let's go over the lesson.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that's a more natural way of saying something like that.
Okay, so we've taken a look at our language takeaways for today. I think it's time to listen to the dialogue one more time.
And this time, the dialogue will be slower so we can understand and listen to all the words we just talked about.
Okay, so now, the last point on our agenda. Jill, let's go over the profit and loss statement.
Great. Well, the main issue here, as you can see, is that our expenses are through the roof.
Let's see. These numbers are off the charts. What's going on here?
Well, sir, the company expenditures on entertainment and travel are out of control. Look at these bills, for example. Just this month, we've paid over $20,000 for hotel charges.
Okay, thank you. I'll look into it.
The list goes on and on. Here, this is a bill for $5,000 for spa treatments.
Thank you. That will be all. I'll take care of it.
Look at this one, sir. $8,000 were expensed in one night at a place called Wild Things.
Okay, I get it. Thank you for your very thorough analysis.
Okay, so I got it.
Yeah, it's clear now.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of really great phrases in this dialogue that I'd like to look at now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Great, so today on Fluency Builder, we have 3 words for you. Let's start by looking at the first one. Off the charts.
Off the charts.
Off the charts.
Off the charts.
So this word is very similar to through the roof.
Exactly. It also means really high.
Right. So let's listen to some examples of how we can use off the charts in a different situation.
Example 1.
Oil prices have gone up and our costs are off the charts.
Example 2.
Excellent job, Susan. Your sales are off the charts this year.
Example 3.
Our losses are off the charts. That's it. No bonuses for anyone.
So, Marco, do you think I can change off the charts for through the roof in these examples?
Yeah, you can. Definitely. You can use off the charts or through the roof. Both of them mean the same thing.
Okay, so 2 ways of saying really, really, really high.
Really high. But they're very commonly used in a business setting.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so this next word is a phrase that you can use if you want to tell somebody that you'll check something or you'll investigate something.
Right. And we heard it in our dialogue, so let's listen to the clip.
I'll look into it. I'll look into it.
So look into that. That means I'll check something.
Yeah, I'll see what's happening.
Yeah. Does it mean you're going to take action?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so I think we've got another word that does mean you're going to take action.
I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it.
So this word means that you're going to do something about it.
I'll take care of it. I will take responsibility.
Exactly. So I will do something about it.
Yeah.
I will investigate and I'll do it.
Yeah, again, 2 great phrases. I'll look into it. I'll take care of it.
Okay, so now let's listen to the dialogue a third time. It's going to be at its normal speed, but now you have all the tools you need to understand it a lot better.
Okay, so now the last point on our agenda. Jill, let's go over the profit and loss statement.
Great. Well, the main issue here, as you can see, is that our expenses are through the roof.
Well, let's see. These numbers are off the charts. What's going on here?
Well, sir, the company expenditures on entertainment and travel are out of control. Look at these bills, for example. Just this month, we've paid over $20,000 for hotel charges.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll look into it.
The list goes on and on. Here, this is a bill for $5,000 for spa treatments.
Thank you. That will be all. I'll take care of it.
Look at this one, sir. $8,000 were expensed in one night at a place called Wild Things.
Okay, I get it. Thank you for your very thorough analysis.
Well, Marco, I guess one of the benefits of being an executive in a company, especially a large company, is you get a lot of amazing benefits.
Yes. When you are a manager or a CEO of one of these big companies, you get a lot of great things like, I don't know, a private jet maybe.
Well, that's nice. Hey?
Or the company often pays for your house.
Yep.
Or for your car, they'll give you a company car.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pay for your kids or your children's tuition for high school.
So there are school fees.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And also, I've heard about entertainment bonuses.
Yeah. So you can go out to a restaurant, get the receipt, and claim the expenses at work.
Those are some great benefits, right?
So, Marco, I'm curious to know what our listeners' expenses are.
Yes, we definitely want to know what crazy expenses you have. For example...
Well, let's see. My spending on Coke Zero has gone through the roof since we started this podcast.
Yes, you spend a lot of money on Coke Zeros every week, right?
Yeah, I probably have about, 10 a week.
Well, for example, I spend a lot on DVDs each week. I usually buy 2 or 3 movies.
That is off the charts.
That is off the charts for DVD spending. Okay. So we want to know what you spend your money on. Be sure to go into our community website and tell us what you spend money on.
That's right. You can find us at EnglishPod.com. And Marco and I are always there to respond to your questions and comments.
Great. So we'll see you there. And until then, it's
goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name's Erica.
And I'm Marco.
So, Marco, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I'm really looking forward to our lesson because we're going to the eye doctor today.
Okay, so we've got an elementary lesson about going to the eye doctor.
Yes.
Well, let's get started then with our vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
We have 3 words today in our vocabulary preview. All 3 words come from our dialogue. Our first word is struggle.
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 So, Marco, when I struggle to do something, what does that mean?
It means it's difficult. It means that you have a hard time, so you can't really do it very quickly.
So you have to try really hard.
You have to try really hard.
Yeah, to do something that's difficult.
Yes.
Okay, our next word is
blurry.
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 Blurry. B-L-U-R-R-Y.
Blurry. Whenever something is blurry, you can't really see it well.
It's not clear.
Right.
That's right. Everything will be blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And our final word is
Prescription.
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 Often when you go to the doctor and you need some medicine, he writes out a prescription.
Right. A little paper that says all the medicine that you need, and then you can go to the drugstore and buy it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those 3 words you'll hear in today's dialogue, and I think it's time we listen to the dialogue.
Hello, Arthur. What seems to be the problem?
Hey, Doc. Well, I think I might need glasses. I'm getting headaches, and I really struggle to see things that are far away. But I've always had 20/20 vision.
Sounds like you might be farsighted. Okay, then, cover your left eye and read the chart in front of you.
X, E, R, 3, question mark, and I can't quite make out the other symbol, but I think it's the peace sign.
Wow, Arthur, you're as blind as a bat.
Yeah, I know. My vision is really blurry at times.
Okay, then. Head over to the other room and pick out some frames while I fill out your prescription.
Thanks, Doc.
Arthur, that's the bathroom.
Well, this guy really has poor vision, hey? Well, actually, you know what? I've walked into the bathroom, the men's bathroom, actually, instead of the women's bathroom. And that's not because I wasn't wearing my glasses.
It's because you weren't paying attention.
That's true.
Okay, let's take a look today at our language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
The first word on our language takeaway for today is 2020 vision.
2020 vision.
2020 vision.
If I have 2020 vision,
it means that you have perfect vision.
Which I do not have.
No, me neither. So I usually wear glasses as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, people that have 20/20 vision don't need glasses. They can see clearly.
And perfectly.
Yeah.
Next word is far-sighted.
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 So if I'm far-sighted, I can't see very well, right?
So if you're far-sighted, you can see things that are near.
So you can see things that are far away.
Right.
But things that are close are blurry. Okay.
And the opposite would be?
Nearsighted.
And which is?
You can see things that are close well.
But not far.
Yeah. Okay.
Far-sighted and nearsighted.
Okay. So our next word is make out.
Make out.
Make out.
Make out.
Make out. That's kind of a funny little phrase. And let's listen to a few examples of this phrase so we can understand how it's used.
Example 1.
I can't make out what this says. The writing is too small.
Example 2.
If you look carefully, you can almost make out a few of the stars in the sky.
Example 3.
Can you see what's written on the sign there?
No, I can't quite make it out.
Okay, so basically make out is to see clearly.
Exactly.
Make out.
To see.
Okay. And our last word for language takeaway today is blind as a bat.
Blind as a bat.
Blind as a bat.
So this is a really funny sounding expression, one of these weird English idioms.
Yeah, it's a really common expression that just means that you can't see.
Exactly. So it's not like you actually are blind, right?
But you just really can't see very well.
Okay. All right, we saw 4 great words today in our language takeaway. Now I think we can listen to our dialogue another time.
But this time it's going to be slower so we can pick up all these great words that we just talked about.
Hello, Arthur. What seems to be the problem?
Hey, Doc. Well, I think I might need glasses. I'm getting headaches, and I really struggle to see things that are far away. But I've always had 20/20 vision.
Sounds like you may be farsighted. Okay, then. Cover your left eye and read the chart in front of you.
X, E, R, 3, question mark, and I can't quite make out the other symbol, but I think it's a peace sign.
Wow. Arthur, you're as blind as a bat.
Yeah, I know. My vision is really blurry at times.
Okay, then. Head on over to the other room and pick out some frames while I fill out your prescription.
Thanks, Doc.
Arthur, that's the bathroom.
All right, great stuff on our dialogue. And with this, we can start now with putting it together.
Putting it together.
So we saw a couple useful phrases in this dialogue, and I think we can show you how to use these phrases in a few different ways.
Right. The first one that we have today is what seems to be.
So we heard in the dialogue, the doctor said,
what seems to be the problem?
We can use this same expression in a number of different ways. Let's listen.
Example 1.
What seems to be the problem?
Example 2.
What seems to be the matter?
Example 3.
What seems to be the trouble?
Okay, so with these examples, we can see how we can use the phrase, what seems to be, in many different ways.
Yeah, it's a great way of asking, what's the problem?
So now let's take a look at another phrase.
We heard in the dialogue, the doctor said, head on over to the other room.
Right. And with this phrase, head on, we can combine it with other prepositions to indicate another place.
Exactly. Let's hear 3 examples.
Example 1.
Head on in.
Example 2.
Head on out.
Example 3.
Head on up.
Okay, so for example, we can say, head on into the house. It's gonna rain soon.
Or we can say, hey guys, let's head on out to the park.
Or I can also say, head on up to my room. I'll be there in a second.
Great. Those are some cool phrases.
Right, and they're real useful.
So why don't we listen to our dialogue and maybe we'll hear them again.
Hello, Arthur. What seems to be the problem?
Hey, Doc. Well, I think I might need glasses. I'm getting headaches and I really struggle to see things that are far away. But I've always had 20/20 vision.
Sounds like you might be farsighted. Okay, then, cover your left eye and read the chart in front of you.
X, E, R, 3, question mark, and I can't quite make out the other symbol, but I think it's the peace sign.
Wow, Arthur, you're as blind as a bat.
Yeah, I know. My vision is really blurry at times.
Okay, then. Head over to the other room and pick out some frames while I fill out your prescription.
Thanks, Doc.
Arthur, that's the bathroom.
Okay, so talking about going to the eye doctor today, I have a question for our listeners.
A challenge for the listeners.
What's it called when you can't distinguish colors?
So like when you can't tell the difference between red and blue and green.
Right. So what is that condition called? So
there's like a technical term. We want the technical term.
We want the technical term. So we'll be looking for it on our comments page, and be sure to, if you know the answer, post it.
At EnglishPod.com. Also, if you have questions about today's lesson or any other lesson, please come and visit our website and ask us.
Yeah, we hope to see you there, but until then, it's
goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners. Welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
We're bringing you a great elementary podcast today.
That's right.
And we're going to be teaching you how to order pizza.
Yeah, you know, pizza is one of my favorite foods and the favorite food of many people.
Exactly. It's one of those common foods that you're at home and you want to order something to eat. And the typical thing is pizza.
Yeah. But, you know, there's some very special language that you've got to use. You got to know this language when you want to order a pizza.
Exactly. So let's listen to this dialogue for the first time as a man is ordering pizza.
Good evening, Pizza House. This is Marty speaking. May I take your order?
Yes. I'd like a medium pizza with pepperoni, olives, and extra cheese.
We have a 2-for-1 special on large pizzas. Would you like a large pizza instead?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great. Would you like your second pizza to be the same size as the first?
No, make the second one with ham, pineapple, and green peppers. Oh, and make it thin crust.
Okay, thin crust. Your total is $21.50 and your order will arrive in 30 minutes or it's free.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Sir, wait, I need your address.
Okay, so I guess he's not getting his pizza.
No, he forgot to give his address.
That's a bit of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the vocabulary in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we've got some great pizza words for you today. And the first one we have is a medium pizza.
Medium pizza.
Medium pizza.
So that's the size, right?
Yeah.
Medium. You can say medium or
12-inch.
12-inch. Usually a medium pizza is 12 inches.
Yeah, so you could say, I'd like a 12-inch pizza.
Okay. For those of us who use centimeters, this would be more or less 30 centimeters.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at the next size, a large pizza.
Large pizza.
A large pizza.
So it might also be called an 18-inch.
An 18-inch pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Or isn't it sometimes called a family size?
Maybe.
Family size.
I guess it depends where you're ordering.
Yeah. Okay, so large and medium pizzas. Now let's take a look at some of the ingredients.
Yes.
Okay, we have pepperoni.
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 This is the common ingredient in all pizza.
It's my favorite. A pizza is not a pizza unless it has pepperoni.
Okay, so pepperoni is a sausage, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit spicy.
A little bit spicy. And they look like
circles.
Red circles.
Yep.
Okay. Olives.
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 Olives are little black or green balls.
Yes, little green or black balls. You can also find them in a martini.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's very common for them to have it's very common to have an olive in a martini.
Yes.
Okay, and he also ordered extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
So that means more cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Extra.
All right, another ingredient. Ham.
Ham.
Ham. The meat of a pig.
Yeah, ham.
Yep.
Okay, and he also ordered another strange ingredient for a pizza, pineapple.
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 Now, this is a fruit.
I know. So weird to put pineapple on a pizza.
Many people like pineapple on their pizza. It's a tropical fruit.
Yep. Comes from Hawaii.
Usually.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of looks like a little palm tree at the top.
Yeah, the top of a pineapple looks like a tree.
Mm-hmm. So, pineapple.
Yep.
All right. Now, the last description of a pizza. He ordered it with thin crust.
Thin crust.
Thin crust.
Thin crust.
Now, we know thin is
skinny.
But crust, what is crust?
It's the bread part of the pizza.
The outside part.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the crust.
That's my favorite part of the
really?
pizza. Yeah. Mm.
Thin crust or thick crust?
Thin crust. Yeah, thin crust. And I really love that bread part. It's so important to a good pizza.
Okay. Well, they also have the crust filled with cheese.
No, it's so wrong.
That's good too.
No.
All right, let's listen to our dialogue again, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Good evening, Pizza House. This is Marty speaking. May I take your order?
Yes. I'd like a medium pizza with pepperoni, olives, and extra cheese.
We have a 2-for-1 special on large pizzas. Would you like a large pizza instead?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great. Would you like your second pizza to be the same as the first?
No, make the second one with ham, pineapple, and green peppers. Oh, and make it thin crust.
Okay, thin crust. Your total is $21.50, and your order will arrive in 30 minutes, or it's free.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Sir, wait. I need your address.
Okay, now we have some really polite language that you could use possibly with customers or with clients.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look at them in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, all right, the first phrase we have, I think is my favorite. This is the way that Marty answered the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "This is Marty speaking."
This is Marty speaking.
This is Marty speaking.
Now, why is this so important?
Because a lot of people, when they answer the phone, say, "I'm Erica." Like, "Hello, I'm Erica," which is not what English people say. We always say, "Erica speaking."
This is Erica speaking.
Exactly. So guys, remember this. You'll sound really, really great when you use this on the phone. This is Marty speaking.
Exactly. This is Marty. Well, don't use Marty. Use your name. All right. Then you also mentioned a 2-for-1 special.
2-for-1 special.
A 2-for-1 special. So that means you're getting 2
pizzas, right?
For the price of one.
Mm-hmm.
And a special is just a special promotion.
A special price.
Special price.
Yes.
2 for 1 special.
All right.
All right. Now a very easy phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like?
Would you like?
Would you like?
Would you like?
Now this is a great way to offer something.
It's a more polite way of asking, do you want?
Do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's less polite than would you like?
Exactly.
So whenever you offer something, would you like a cup of coffee?
Would you like to sit down?
Okay.
Yep.
So would you like? Let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk about pizza from a pizza expert.
Good evening, Pizza House. This is Marty speaking. May I take your order?
Yes, I'd like a medium pizza with pepperoni, olives, and extra cheese.
We have a 2-for-1 special on large pizzas. Would you like a large pizza instead?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great. Would you like your second pizza to be the same size as the first?
No, make the second one with ham, pineapple, and green peppers. Oh, and make it thin crust.
Okay, thin crust. Your total is $21.50 and your order will arrive in 30 minutes or it's free.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Sir, wait, I need your address.
All right, we're back, and we are here with our pizza expert. Who else but Marco from Italian Pod?
Hi, everyone.
Marco 2, right?
Marco 1.
I am Marco 0. He is Marco 1.
Yes. Right.
We've come to an agreement.
So 0. What's the deal about this?
Well, we're talking about
thing?
pizza today, and we wanted to know what's your opinion, since pizza comes from Italy, right?
Well, thanks for the question first, Marco 0. Is my mic working?
It should be.
Okay. So, the problem with pizza is that, yes, it comes from Italy. Originated, the story goes with the principal Regina Margherita, Queen Margherita.
All right.
But the problem is that now this confusion worldwide, pizza and Pizza Hut, American pizza, Italian pizza, that is not the same thing.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Okay. So Pizza Hut is an Italian pizza.
No. Oh my ragazzi. So, okay, here it goes. Italians, a little bit of... Italians make food, but they're not good at branding it.
Okay.
Americans, they're very good at branding the food.
Mm-hmm.
So they have Starbucks and Pizza Hut and blah, blah, blah. The problem is that since they have to brand it, they don't change the name. So they do this Pizza Hut that is totally different from Italian pizza. How is it different? Have you ever seen the two of them? Have you ever compared them?
Yeah. They are very different. That's true.
So, okay, can you put pineapple and ham on a pizza?
Technically, you could.
Like, it's possible.
As long as you call it Hawaiian, you can put pineapple in everything, I guess. But the problem, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, Italian pizza is, you have the flour, the pasta della pizza.
The crust.
The crust, the tomato sauce, and then the
pepperoni,
mozzarella cheese, and that's the basic, and then you can build on top of it with some variations. American pizza is basically take everything that you have on the table and put it on it. That's the main difference. But I'm not saying I'm against American pizza. I'm saying that you just should change the name
to another thing. What do you suggest we should call it?
Zippa. It's close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
But maybe you need like an A, like Azippa.
Azippa.
To indicate that it's American. A for America.
Maybe.
A.zippa.
A.zippa.com.
Can I have a zippa?
So Marco,
zippapod.com maybe.
So Marco, I know that that you are very much against having Pizza Hut pizza.
I like it as an exotic experience because I like the fact that it's so much stuff in it that you cannot even tell the difference between the ingredients. They have the super supreme
with cheese in the crust.
I don't even know what's inside.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's like there's a party in my mouth and everybody's invited. That's for me the feeling of American pizza.
Another interesting thing when we were eating with pizza with Marco is that he noticed the way that people from different countries eat pizza.
That's right. Italian people fold their pizza.
We do fold. And another thing is that we have a whole pizza. Like if I order one pizza, it's not like I share. Everybody has one slice of it. We order one pizza. You order your pizza. She order her pizza, and so on.
Pizza is personal.
Pizza is a person. Don't mess with my pizza, Marco Zero.
All right. Well, this whole pizza discussion, let's see what our listeners have to say about it. I know that we have listeners from all over the world, and what do they do with their pizzas?
Yes.
Or their zipas.
Or their zipas.
What do you like on your pizza?
Exactly. For example,
how high do you want the crust to be?
Thin.
How high?
Thin.
I know that, for example,
how thin you want your crust to be.
I know that, for example, in some countries they put ketchup on their pizza.
I know. Once I was eating look, I had a Japanese friend who ordered a pizza from Pizza Hut, and the pizza had the pineapple and other stuff on it, and then she took out like ketchup and mayonnaise, and she got like wild.
Although I must tell you, I like Tabasco on my pizza, and I know that's wrong. I know. I'm sorry, but I like it.
Well, you do what you have to do, Erica. Then, history will judge you for that.
All right, we better go. We're out of time. And before Marco has a heart attack or an aneurysm or something, we're making him angry here. And if you have any questions for us and also for Marco, because I'm sure he's going to be commenting on this aspect.
Sure.
So go to our comment section at englishpod.com.
And Marco Zero and I are always there to answer your questions. All right, everyone.
We'll see you there.
Goodbye.
Bye.